So those of you on hold on the phones, I need you to be patient. We're having a problem here with a call screener computer, at least the display here in the studio. We'll get that rectified. Get back to you ASAP, I promise. This will be a great opportunity to delve into the Walter Williams column that I referred to earlier. It's got nothing to do with the NFL. I mean, that's not why he wrote it. It comes from way back on September 20th, about a week ago. And the title of his column, where did this run? The link is so tiny, I can't. Looks like Daily Signal. The black family is struggling, and it's not because of slavery. Now, Walter Williams, a former guest host here, he's a brilliant guy, very conservative individual. Let me give you a couple pull quotes. And by the way, none of this is new information. We've talked about it before over the years. None of this is new. We've known about the problems with single-parent families, single motherhood. We've known about this. And it's independent of race. We've known about this for decades. But it's one of these things nobody will stand up and talk about because it's racist. It's bigoted. It's intolerant. It doesn't exhibit understanding of the new definition of family in America, you see. But we allow it to continue. And now we celebrate. We celebrate single motherhood and young single mothers, and we praise them. They become dependent on the state. They become loyal Democrat voters, and we create these new ways of defining family and call it growth. You know, we call it maturity and so forth. Couple pull quotes. In 1960, just 22% of black children were raised in single-parent families. 1960. 50 years later, more than 70% of black children are raised in single-parent families. So we've gone from 22% to 70% in 50 years. Here's the question Walter Williams asks. What is or was the increase in single-parent black families after 1960 a legacy of slavery, or might it be a legacy of the welfare state ushered in by the war on poverty? Williams believes that the rise of single-parent families is directly attributable to the creation of the welfare state, the war on poverty. The government became the father. The government assumed the financial obligations of the father, meaning the father need not hang around. So I say you've heard all of this, but you don't dare say it even today, unless you want to be accused of division, disunity, and inequality and racism and all the others. Another pull quote. Two-parent black families are rarely poor. Two-parent black families are rarely poor. Only 8% of black married families live in poverty. Among black families in which both the husband and wife work full-time, the poverty rate is under 5%. Poverty in black families headed by single women is 37%. The Democrat Party has targeted single mothers as a primary voting bloc. The Democrat Party has identified single mothers as a rising population cohort and has devised policies to reach them. The Democrat Party benefits from this, and they're the only ones who do. The problems of today's black Americans are a result of a legacy of slavery, racial discrimination, and poverty has achieved an axiomatic status thought to be self-evident and beyond question. This is what academics and civil rights establishments have taught, but there's little evidence to support it. Little evidence. And by the way, he's exactly right. All of these problems with single-parent, single mothers, African-American populations, they say that's a legacy of slavery. And, of course, people that don't know any better accept it and believe it, start feeling guilty about it, and then are easily swayed into believing that white privilege is the reason all this exists. And now these kids that believe that are in college, refusing to let people they disagree with speak. The number one problem among blacks is the effects stemming from a very weak family structure. The bottom line of his piece, as time begins to evaporate here, is this. The end of the piece. Then there's education. Many black 12th graders deal with scientific problems at the level of whites in the 6th grade. They write and do math about as well as white 7th and 8th graders. These are academic studies. This is not his opinion. This is research that has been performed and documented. All of this means that an employer hiring or a college admitting a typical black high school graduate is in effect hiring or admitting an 8th grader.